Radhe Jaya Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Radha Gopinath Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Jaya Radha Gopinath
Go outside.
Can I have one?
What's your hand?
आप जब गलती कर रही थे वैसे ही होता है इस बार मैं तो लेके जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि उसके बाद आपको पता Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnabhavam Sabararaj Gacharya, Astajan Sajasi Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnabhavam Sabararaj Gacharya, Sto there's a Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki. ISKCON Founder Charles Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gaur Bhakta Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Ki. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to C.C. Guru Gauranga.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome, a very, very warm welcome to His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj Ki. We have no words to express our thanks and gratitude to Maharaj to come to Hornsby, spare time, and thanks to all devotees who made it possible for you to come here. So I'd just like to give a quick introduction for Maharaj. Maharaj was born in New York, USA, and graduated from Yale University, one of the renowned universities in USA. And Maharaj actually was not satisfied somehow with the material benedictions or the achievements Maharaj had. The heart actually was lying somewhere else. So searching for something more in life. So Maharaj moved on, and somehow with Lord Krishna's mercy, Maharaj got to read Prabhupada's books. And soon after that, Maharaj in 1974 took initiation, first initiation, and then in 2002, Maharaj started giving initiations to devotees. So Maharaj actually has also been a part of GBC, as a vice chairman, followed by chairman for different countries, for Australia, for New Zealand, South Africa, Brazil, and Gita Nagari Farm Project in Pennsylvania. So, and Maharaj actually is very interested to challenge the grey matter of, especially for students, to think outside of the main four objects of our focus, which is sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. So Maharaj actually goes to corporates and teaches there as well, and got multiple books Maharaj has written. We got some of the books from Maharaj, which is Bhakti Bhava, and other very famous books are Searching for Vedic Wisdom and Perfect Escape. So we got these books here from Maharaj. If someone wants to get a personally signed copy from Maharaj, please feel free. It's a very nominal donation of minimum $8. You can take a copy. And if you run short of these copies here, we have a library of books here. You can take signature of Maharaj on those books as well, which could be Bhagavad Gita, etc. So I would request Vrajnath Prabhu also just speak for a couple of minutes to introduce Maharaj. It would be very nice if Prabhu can come and thank you. Thank you, Maharaj Ji, for coming to Hornsby.
Hare Krishna. Don't worry, I'll keep this short. So,
Amoli Harinam Prabhu has told everything about Maharaj. One thing is that Maharaj has come from Yale University, which is where the presidents of the United States have come from, and soon to be all the GBCs of ISKCON. So we'd like to give a warm welcome to Maharaj. His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj Ki.
Om Gana Chimanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chokshun Militangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadara Siva Sadi Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare. The topic I've been given tonight is karma. Why is it that bad things happen to good people? And I suppose you would also say, why is it that good things happen to bad people? Naturally, a thinking person deliberates about these points. You may know that the number one argument that atheists have against the existence of God is, how can it be that there is so much suffering in this world and so many disasters and catastrophes involving innocent people? And the most innocent persons are presented as children. How can there be a supreme being when innocent children are massacred, go through so much horrible circumstances? How can that be? So the atheists say that there's no way there can be some kind of supreme controller. Just look at what's happening around you. The injustice, the genocide, the horrible events that human beings go through. That should let you know there can be no supreme being. And then they take it further, that, okay, if you want to say, amidst all this suffering, even that happens to innocent children, if you want to say that there is a supreme being, then you have to describe that supreme being as incompetent, foolish, ignorant. Just like if there's something going wrong at a corporation, people point to the CEO, change the CEO. Hewlett Packard, change the CEO. Microsoft, who is going to be the new CEO of Microsoft? We have to do something, Microsoft. So similarly, what is wrong that a so-called supreme being is allowing suffering, even amongst innocent children? If there is a supreme being, the atheists say, which there is not, but if there is, that means he's so incompetent. He's so inexpert. So this problem of suffering in the world, especially amongst innocent persons, it causes many doubts. How can it be? What have children done? When we look at Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the graduate study of Bhagavad Gita, we find out that actually no one is innocent in the material world. In other words, where did this idea come from that there's innocence among the living entities of this world? Krishna in Bhagavad Gita explains, Ichcha dvesha samutena dvanda mohena bhata. All living entities are born into this world overcome by the dualities of desire and aversion. In other words, like in the material world, the temporary material world involves being full of desires for some things and loathing or being repelled, hating other things. You can see how that characterizes our daily life. We're attracted to some things, we're repelled by other things. So Krishna says, all living entities are born into this kind of world. Where's the innocence? Nowhere in Bhagavad Gita does Krishna talk about innocent persons in this world. If you've taken birth in this world, it means you've got a problem. Now, if you look at a prison, everyone knows that from time to time innocent people are sentenced to prison. But if you look at the material world, you don't find any innocent persons in the material world. What is the test of whether you're innocent or guilty? What is the test we should apply to the material world and its population, all living entities? The test we should apply is, do you have a material body? If you have a material body, that means guilty. So you make this simple test. You look in the mirror. What do you see? You see a material body? Guilty as charged. So then you might say, well, what about the children? Just like this gentleman here is holding his child. She feels very safe and secure resting on his shoulder. Nothing can disturb the child. She's with the father. So everyone would say, here's another one right here, yes? Everyone would say, this child has done no wrong. This child is innocent. But in some part of the world right now, some catastrophe is happening to such an innocent child. So what is the presentation of Bhagavad Gita? No one is innocent, not even the children. Now how can that be? We look at this child sitting on the mother's lap, their thumb in the mouth, content, sucking her thumb. Everything is all right. So everyone would say, this is a model of innocence here. She hasn't yet become a teenager. We'll see what teenage life will be like in Sydney. Why Sydney? What about Delhi or Mumbai? Everything's changing so quickly these days, you know. So, shockingly, it may seem to you, there is no such thing as an innocent child. Just think again about Krishna's statement in Bhagavad Gita. Ichya dvesha vimuttena dvanda mohena bhavata. All living entities, not just the adults, all living entities are born in this world overcome by desire and aversion. That means the children are guilty in that they are taking bodies according to their past life. And with those bodies, they will experience reactions. It's just a matter of time. In other words, time is not just tick, tick, tick on your watch. Time is doing things. It's bringing you things. Time is bringing you your karmic reactions of happiness and distress. So in other words, the child's body is going to grow in time. And as that child's body proceeds through time, various karmic reactions will sprout like seeds. In other words, in the child's body are the seeds of karmic reactions waiting for the right time to sprout and grow. So if we can see the whole picture, then we understand no one is innocent in this world, not even the children. So should that reality make you depressed and very sad? Oh, what to do? Everyone is guilty in this world, even the little children. No, we should endeavor how to deal with karma. So what is it that Krishna is presenting to us in Bhagavad Gita? Krishna is presenting how to work without reaction. This is the art, science, and culture of Bhakti Yoga as presented by Krishna himself. And Krishna himself states that even an intelligent person could be bewildered trying to tell the difference between action and inaction. Because, see, Bhagavad Gita has a different definition of action and inaction. You might think inaction, well, that clearly means you're not doing anything. Action means you're doing something. Just like when I came, the children were very active, running here and there. Now you might say, she just jumped up. Now you might say that they're inactive. They're laying on their mother's lap or father's shoulder. But no, when Krishna talks about action and reaction, when Krishna talks about action and inaction, he's referring to what produces karma and what does not produce karma. In other words, we could be acting but still be inactive because our activity is not producing karmic reactions. That is why Krishna can urge Arjuna to fight. Krishna is not telling Arjuna to engage in ordinary warfare, ordinary fighting. No. Krishna is urging Arjuna to engage in action that's actually inaction, because no material reaction will come. Arjuna is acting for the pleasure of Krishna, under the order of Krishna. Similarly, action means doing things that generate karmic reactions. Those karmic reactions sprout like seeds at some time in our life. In the next life, this life, we are preparing karmic reactions for the future. Indeed, the very body that we possess, if it's a material body, the body itself then is a karmic reaction. So the intelligent person sees material life as a sequence of actions and reactions. And the intelligent person wants to learn how to perform non-reactive work. That is the great gift of Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will teach you how to be in the world but not of the world. Or another example given in the Vedas is the lotus flower. The lotus flower sits on the water, but the lotus flower is not touched by the water. Just the petals of the lotus flower, or the green leaves, rest on the water. But the actual lotus flower in itself doesn't touch the water. So that is the example given for how the yogi can be in this world but be unaffected by the world. And to practice Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, doesn't mean you isolate yourself from the world. No. You can do your family affairs, you can do your studies, you can do your work, all in connection to Krishna. So you may notice these days that everyone is busy working, but no one knows how to work in perfection. To work in perfection means you offer all the results to Krishna. To the vision of an observing person, this world can be very troubling because of the presence of injustice, exploitation, horrible things happening to people. Why? The intelligent person asks that question. Why? This was a nice person. Why did this nice person have to go through such a horrible ordeal? Isn't the Supreme Creator at fault for allowing such horrors to happen? Well, first of all, Krishna clearly advises us in Bhagavad Gita about the nature of the material world. Tu kalyam sasratam. He says this material world is a temporary, miserable place. He doesn't advise us to try and make a permanent place for ourselves in this world. It's not possible. We take that instruction from the source of the material energy. It's like if there's an architect and he designs a house and you want to move in the house based on your desire. Oh, I desire this house. It's a nice house in Hornsby or Chatsworth or something like that. But the architect says, I must warn you, and I know about this house because I designed it. Very soon the walls will collapse. Very soon the roof will cave in. The floor will develop holes. Soon termites will eat it. This is a bad house, I tell you. I don't advise you to live there. But what will you say? No. It looks like a beautiful house to me. Look at the sparkling paint job on the outside. Of course, the architect will tell you, look, you're not a construction engineer. You're not a structural specialist. There may be a nice paint job on the outside, but the structure of the house is such that it will collapse. Appearances can be deceiving. I know, as a little boy, my father, one of the businesses he had was selling used cars. And so he would get cars that were secondhand, and he would have them painted beautifully. And people would come and actually fight with each other over who could buy the car. And, oh, such a beautiful car. Look at that. They just saw the external, the flashy paint job. They didn't consider the engine. Because the exterior of the car looks so nice, people just assume the engine must be wonderful too. As a little boy, for my chores at home, I know about this. Because my father would tell me, some customers are coming, you must polish the chrome. At that time, in the 50s, cars had real chrome on the bumpers. Now it's, I think, synthetic. But it used to be real chrome. Oh, I hated it too. I had to get this can of chrome polish and rub the bumpers. Those were my chores in order to get my weekly allowance. So I watched these people fighting over who could buy the car. No, I got here first. Then my father would say, well, I guess we'll just have to leave it up to you two. Whoever wants to pay more can have the car. I mean, what can I do? So they were attracted to the exterior. Similarly, we are attracted to the exterior of the material world. Even though Krishna warns us, don't live in this place. You say, oh, it's got a nice paint job. I want my place in this world. What else does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Anijjam asukam lokam. It's a temporary, unhappy place. But we are determined that we will be successful here, yes? We are determined that we will find fulfillment here, yes? It has to happen. Others are getting it. Why not me too? Others are happy. Others are finding success. Why not me? And why not my children? It's there. I should get success. My children should get success. And then when inevitably the setback happens, we are shocked. Oh, how could this happen? Something so horrible. What kind of creator has done this? We forget that Krishna has warned you. This is not the place for building your happiness. I was just looking at some news from New Zealand, where I'm based basically in New Zealand and Australia, about 4 months of the year. And the rest of the year I travel all over the world. I've been doing that for several decades. So I looked at the news in New Zealand, and their headlines for news always carry human interest stories first. That's just the nature of Kiwis. So the headlines was about a mother who was at the beach in the north of New Zealand with her 3 foster children. The husband was doing a business trip to San Francisco. And so the mother, or his wife, the mother of the children, texted her husband, "I am in paradise. This is a beautiful day. It's fantastic here at the beach. There are king tides. Everything is just so wonderful. I'm in paradise." Half hour later, she was dead. What happened? She said she was in paradise, beautiful day at the beach. It was a very safe beach, but that particular day, they had king tides. And so, her children were just playing at the edge of the water, but the tides were coming in abnormally strong, and the children started getting in a little trouble, especially the 8-year-old daughter. And the mother saw her daughter was being carried out by the tide, and so she sprinted to the water and dove in and rescued her child, carrying her child on her back to get out of the water. And indeed, she saved her 8-year-old daughter. And she was standing up in the water when huge waves came and swept her away. She was so exhausted, evidently, from rescuing her daughter. She didn't have enough strength to keep her head above the water, and she drowned. That makes you think, a half hour before that, she texted her husband in San Francisco, "I'm in paradise." That's what the text said. Everything is fantastic. A beautiful day at the beach. Beautiful king tides. But those king tides that she said were so beautiful, they were the cause of her giving up her body. So then you wonder, what is going on? Why was his mother separated from her children and her husband? So these things make us think, what kind of world this is? But unfortunately, we then say, if there is an ultimate source, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate." I'm the source of everything, material and spiritual. Everything emanates from me. So we say, if that's true, you're doing a lousy job. Some atheists even say that, well, if God has given me a ticket to go to heaven, I think I'll return the ticket. Obviously, this Supreme has no idea what he's doing. So I don't want to go to a place of such incompetency. Now, why don't we blame ourselves? The architect has warned us. I built this house. I designed it. Don't live in it. No, it looks beautiful to me. Beautiful paint job on the outside. So out of arrogance, we blame the Supreme, when actually we should blame ourselves. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains about karma, how to deal with it. He says, give up all your plans, shut down your plan-making factory, and accept my plan. Then I will protect you from all karmic reactions. Don't worry. Sarvadhanamam prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham jam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashuta. Don't worry. I'll take care of your karma. So that's Krishna's personal offer in Bhagavad Gita. But what do we say? No, thank you. We don't have time. Not now. Maybe when we're in our 70s. We were speaking about this. Where was I? On Adelaide, a couple of days ago. Often I hear that what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is good, of course, but it's meant for when you're in your 70s. But when you are in your 20s and 30s, 40s, 50s, and probably 60s too, that is the time for material advancement. Then when you are 70, that is the time for bhakti. I've heard this. In Melbourne, I do a lot of outreach activities for students, university students, especially coming from India to study at universities in Melbourne. And these students, although they were not interested in Bhagavad Gita and Krishna, in India, somehow when they come to Australia, their interest is aroused. So, then their parents hear, oh, I sent my daughter to Melbourne to study, and now I hear my son or daughter's attending the mandir, chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So sometimes the parents then instruct their children. You have to understand, this is not the spiritual age. This is not the time for being spiritual. This is the material age. Therefore, you should be materialistic. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is meant for materialism, so you should be harmonious with the times. This is not the time for spiritual life. Anyway, spiritual life is good for when you're in your 70s. But you see, the longer we delay our doing things Krishna's way, the more karmic reactions pile up. Now sometimes people say, and Western philosophers especially say this, how can you say that karma is such an appropriate system of reward and punishment when you do not remember the thing you did wrong that you're getting the karmic reaction for? Just like if, let's say this young man does something wrong. His mother will probably say, I told you before not to do this, and now you have done it. Didn't I tell you not to do this before? Yes, mothers speak like that to their children. I explained to you, but you still went and did it. Now you must be punished. No TV for a half hour. No PlayStation for 10 minutes. So, proper parenting means that you point out to the child, you're getting this reaction because you did such and such activity. I remember I think I was 8 years old. And I didn't do my homework one day for school. And so the teacher wrote out a note for me to give to my parents. He wrote out a note. wrote my name on the note and said that he didn't do his homework. Then she gave me a note and said, bring this back tomorrow signed by your parents. So that way I know you showed it to your parents. So I was 8 years old. I had a brilliant idea. Made complete sense to me. My name, my legal name, is the same as my father's, as well as my grandfather did. So I said, aha, I will just sign the letter. Because the name's on the same. So the next morning, I came to school, handed the note back. And of course, the teacher just looked and could tell this is a child's writing. So then, she wrote on the note, your son has forged your signature. And she said, now you take this to your parents and really have them sign this. So, it was very, very difficult. Especially, my father was he was an administrator in the New York City Police Department, and here his son is coming home with a note saying that I forged his signature. So, I gave the note to my father. He read it, looked at my mother, and said, you take care of this. I didn't know what that meant. She went and got one of my father's belts. I said, okay. She grabbed me by the hand and you won't do this again, will you? You'll remember this. So of course, I knew what the punishment was for. I knew what the reaction's for. But some Western philosophers argue that how can karma be just when you actually don't remember exactly the thing you're getting the karmic reaction for? Let's say right now, if you got sick, can you remember what you did that should bring about your getting the reaction of this disease? No. Therefore, how could karma be just? But you see, karma doesn't depend on whether you remember everything you did wrong and the corresponding punishment. The science of karma is about, look, you have a material body. Just your having a material body itself is the sign of karmic reactions, and you did something wrong. You see, the goal of human life is not to just counteract bad karma with good karma. The actual goal of human life, as Krishna presents in Bhagavad Gita, is to get out of the material world, get out of the material body, go back to Krishna. So the point is not to remember the specific wrong things you did. The point is to look at the mistake as a whole, that you're in the material body, in the material world, you should get out of that. That's the point. So persons who accuse that karma is not just, they miss this point. The purpose of karma is not that you remember exactly what little thing you did wrong here, what you did wrong there. The purpose of dealing with karma, according to Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, is to get out of the material pool altogether. Not change the temperature in the pool, but get out. Not change the amount of chlorine in the pool, but get out of the water. This science, this technology of action and reaction is essential for every human being to understand. Otherwise, life is very risky. I'll give you another example I often tell. When I first... I've been in New Zealand, based there for about 3 or 4 years. This is in the 90s. And I was driving back to the ashram. I was driving myself. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. And in Auckland, at that time, 1997 or something, at 10 o'clock at night, there was no traffic. There's this big street with 2 lanes on both sides, a divider up the middle, empty, no traffic. So I thought, I want to get back to the ashram, take rest, get up in the morning so I can chant Hare Krishna. So I was driving fast, 90 kilometers per hour. There was no one on the street. Big street also. Then after a while I noticed there's a red light behind me. Flashing red light. And it was a police car. He's pulling me over. So I pulled over, and the policeman comes to the window and says, "Do you realize you were more than 30 kilometers per hour above the speed limit?" I said, "But there was no one on the road. It's completely empty." He said, "Yes, but the law is such and such. It's a 60 kilometer per hour zone." I said, "Oh, really? Oh, I see. Okay. Next time I'll know that." And then he said, "Oh, I can tell by your accent that you're from overseas, huh? You're from the USA?" "Oh, yes. Overseas." He said, "Oh, you're a tourist, aren't you? Traveling man, tourist." Yes. I'm a tourist. I said, "Well, New Zealand wants their tourists to have a good time. We want you to have a favorable impression of our beautiful country. So I'll let you go this time." I breathed a sigh of relief. He said, "Yeah, I'll let you go. You should learn the laws of this country that you're visiting. He said, by the way, before I let you go, just let me check your license. Let me see your American license." American license. Pulled out my license. Aha! New Zealand license! Oh! Now you get a $150 fine. $150? You won't do this again, will you? So, I may have had good intentions, right? And according to me, everything was fine. No one on the road. It was all justified. But, from the viewpoint of the law enforcement, something else. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. If any of you made some violation, and then you say to the judge in court, "But I didn't know." What is the judge going to say? Forget it. If you don't pay your taxes properly, "But I didn't know." It doesn't work. Similarly with karma, the same thing. Doesn't work. You can't offer your excuse. "I didn't know." As a human being, you're supposed to know. As a human being with your advanced human consciousness, you're supposed to know the laws of the universe. Because you are a conscious entity with advanced human consciousness, you're supposed to know. And you're held accountable. So this is an essential message of the Vedas. Consciousness is accountable. You're not a tree, you're not a stone, you're not a fish, you're not an insect. You are a human being. You have developed consciousness. You are held accountable for it. So scientists may know a little of the reactions to material phenomena. If I knock on it like that, the whole universe is never the same. You don't see the end of the reactions that happen as the sound permeates everywhere. But what about the reactions to consciousness? That material scientists don't know. You are held accountable for your consciousness. So these are very important principles that a progressive human being needs to understand. This is the real science. This is the real art, the real culture. How to perform non-reactive work. In other words, how to be inactive while actually being active. Krishna is teaching this in Bhagavad Gita. And the system for karma is completely fair. Krishna has warned you, don't engage in material activities. Don't even go to the material world. But we come, we want to be successful, We want to act, struggle, work, and then we blame Krishna. Why did this happen to me? Our life can be perfectly successful on the spiritual platform, but not on the material plane. So Krishna is inviting you in Bhagavad Gita. Please establish your life on the spiritual platform, free from action and reaction of karma. Then your life is truly successful for you, for your family, for your children. That is the point of Bhagavad Gita. How to reconnect with Krishna on the spiritual platform, beyond material reactions. All right. Any questions, please? Yes.
Now that we are in this particular age, if we want to go to the spiritual path, because we are samsaric, we are in family, so the family will not support us going away or being on the spiritual path.
So you're asking what to do if you have a family that won't support.
Yep.
Where is the family?
Yeah, they are with me.
Here, now.
No, they are not now.
Where are they?
They are at home.
So, you want to follow Krishna's instructions?
Yeah.
You want to chant Hare Krishna?
Yeah.
Offer your food to Krishna?
Yeah.
Read Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
And they stop you?
In the sense that they would say that your role is to be a mother or to be a wife.
Yes, that's true.
So I would be leaving that, so they won't allow me to do that.
The best mother, the best wife is one who chants Hare Krishna. You have to show them that not only will the bhakti activities not interfere with your being a mother or wife, in fact, they will make you a better mother and a better wife. Let them see that. It may take some time.
Okay, I will try.
Yes. Offer the food you cook to Krishna. Give them nice prasad. Yes? You're giving your husband nice prasad? Well, that's very important. After a while, they'll change. I always point out, just as women like to talk, men like to eat. So make very nice prasad. And show the family that by your chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavad Gita, performing bhakti activities, you're actually a better mother, a better wife. And then gradually they'll calm down. Just like in Melbourne, for example, when I'm dealing with Indian students who are studying in Melbourne, and their parents find out, oh, my son he's chanting Hare Krishna. That only means one thing. He's going to be a brahmachari. So the parents come flying over. And then they say, actually, my son, he's studying. He's working. Everything's going on. And he's even nicer now. Oh, maybe this Krishna consciousness is not bad. Maybe I should try it also. So often it happens that the parents come flying over from Delhi or wherever to find out what their son is doing. And then they find out their son is doing it very nice. And the parents start thinking, yes, this Krishna consciousness is very nice. But at first, they were alarmed. But then when they actually see how their son is better than before, they relax. So example is very important. The parents are worried. My boy is chanting Hare Krishna. That means he won't study at school. But then they see that their boy is doing even better at school. So in that way, you have to be strategic. Okay? Anything else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I recently came across an atheistic propaganda on the back of a car written "Science flies you to the moon and religion flies you into the buildings." And another was "Atheism is myth understood." So I wanted your point of view on why there is a notion around religion that it would make you narrow-minded or blind faith.
People do not know what is real religion. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Arjuna, Mayasakta Manapar, Yogam Yunjan Marashva. I'm going to teach you the spiritual technology, how your mind can be attached to me. You'll know everything. You'll be free from doubt. Just listen. Touch Trinu. So Krishna is inviting you into the bhakti laboratory. He's not trying to fill your head with religious theology. Some people have this fear that religion is just about religious beliefs that make you fanatical. They're not aware of how comprehensive and penetrating the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is. Arjuna was not in a hypothetical situation. Arjuna was in a crisis in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, on the battlefield. A most pressing and pragmatic situation. That's the situation that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita in. So, are you the body, are you the mind, or are you something else? Isn't that a necessary existential question? So that's what Krishna deals with in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, the very beginning. Actually, from the statistics point of view, this notion that religion has caused so many wars and people to die is false. If you look at the 20th century, which is the most violent century in human history, more people died in the 20th century from military conflict than in the preceding 1900 years. Now, if you look at the persons who died in violent military conflicts in the 20th century, the vast, overpowering percentage is from atheistic ideologies. Like Stalin, he killed millions of people. Hitler killed millions of people. These are not theists. These are atheists who came up with a social philosophy that was like a quasi-religion. Marxist Leninism or Nazism. In some countries of the world, I found in my travels, before the fall of the Soviet Union and Marxism became in complete disrepute everywhere except in Bengal. They just got rid of it in Bengal. But everywhere else, communism, people know it's out of style. So, in some countries like Norway, I used to live in Norway, they teach Marxism in the religious department. They say it's a belief. So this accusation that religion causes conflict, it's all about motivating people to fly into buildings, this is all bogus. The misuse of religion and the damage it causes is far less than what atheistic social philosophies have done to the world in terms of how many people are killed. So don't be intimidated by those kinds of accusations. Had another question?
Hey Maharaj, you were mentioning about doing actions which does not cause any reactions.
Yes.
Can you please explain with examples as to how one can live that life?
Yes. Everyone is working so hard, but as I said, do they not have to work in perfection? Krishna is teaching Arjuna, Mama Nusra Yudhyancha, fight and think of me. Because Arjuna is fighting on the order of Krishna, there's no reactions. He was fearing in the first chapter of the Gita. Arjuna was fearing reactions. Sin will overcome us if we engage in this warfare. But then Krishna explained to him that if your actions are perfectly in harmony with Krishna, there are no karmic reactions. If Krishna is in the center of your family life, if Krishna is the enjoyer of the fruits of your work, your business, then you're performing non-reactive work. If you offer your food to Krishna before eating, you don't get any reactions for eating that food. So the bhakti culture, the Krishna conscious culture, covers all aspects of your life. Every aspect. You do as an offering to Krishna. As an offering to Krishna means you do things the way Krishna wants and you let Krishna be the enjoyer of the fruits. Okay? If you're a big businessman, offer the results of your business for Krishna's pleasure. If you are a father or mother, raise your children to be Krishna conscious. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. There are some actions which we unknowingly do. For example, we are walking on a road and we step on, hundreds of ants, in some years, but we are not even aware of. How can we control? Because that would mean those are actions like walking or stepping on them,
right.
Killing them and smashing them, some insects.
Yes.
So that will result into reaction and we need to take birth again and again, which is like we are not even aware of or control that.
Right. That's true. When you walk in the park, you may not think about it, but you're walking on the heads of the grass. What gives you permission to do that? Get a reaction. And simply by putting a face mask over your nose and mouth will not stop you from reactions. Therefore, it's best to do the one-stop shopping. At the end of the Gita, Krishna says, you surrender to me, you do things my way, I take care of all the karmic reactions. Otherwise, you try to stop the karmic reactions here, try to stop them there. I'll cover my mouth so I don't breathe in any small insects. But then you're stepping on so many small insects. You turn on your oven, so many small insects are dying. How do you stop all the karmic reactions? Impossible. So Krishna says, one-stop shopping. You don't have to endeavor in so many multifarious ways. Just surrender to me. I take care of all karmic reactions. And then what do we say? Too busy. Not now. Yes.
I would like to hear from you any experience where you have actually connected with Krishna and Krishna has given you, darshan, or we have heard so many leelas about Krishna. The level you have reached, and think that there must be a time where you have actually connected with Krishna, or any experience that you can share with us where you,
Yes. Hare Krishna. I just shared.
No.
Yes.
No,
That's true, Hare Krishna, but I would like to know from your any special experience that you would like
Hare
to
Krishna.
share. No, still that's not answer to my question. Can you elaborate more for me? I'm still not convinced. If you can elaborate more for me.
Hare Krishna.
No, I'm not so convinced.
That means you need to become more qualified.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, to become more qualified or follow this path more rigidly,
Then you need knowledge. Otherwise you won't appreciate my answer.
That's what I'm asking, that if you can share something with us.
If your little child on your shoulder there asks you, Mother, how was I born? What are you going to say?
No, definitely.
No, you listen. If your little child asks you, how was I born? How did I come into this world? What are you going to say?
Definitely I will give him some question and some answer to that.
What would you say? What would you say?
The way the process is there, that how the child comes into the woman's womb and how it the child gives a birth. Definitely I will give him some answer to convince.
But you would answer according to what the child could understand until the child gets knowledge. Just like in the Western world, the parents tell the children that the stork brought you. You know, stork, this is a big bird with a big beak. That's what they generally tell their children. Mother, how did I come into being? Oh, the stork carried you one day into our house. Because they don't want to, the child's not able to understand conception. So you need more knowledge. Because I just gave you the answer 3 times. Hare Krishna. You asked, do I have any experience of Krishna? Yes. Everyone can experience Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. Now, if you don't want to accept that, it means you need further education. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? You have read Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says, Rasaham Apsukonteya. He says he's the taste in water. So now I shall experience Krishna. Prabhasmi Shashi Suryo. I am the light of the sun and the moon. So you start to experience Krishna in that way, according to his instructions. He's not just making poetry in Bhagavad Gita. I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the ability in man. He's not just speaking poetry. He's teaching you, child, this is how you can start to see me. This is how you can start to experience me. Okay? And of course, in this age of Kali, the age of darkness, the best way to experience Krishna is by chanting his name. You are associating with Krishna. As you said in the beginning.
That was actually a good experience.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. One thing that people tell me is the advantage of science is that you have verifiable facts.
Such as what?
Such as, if they say that, for any theory it's a communication, right? So you have, so they explain how it works. What's the reason why? How your signal is transmitted from your phone and how it goes around.
But can they tell you who is the person that is making the communications?
They can't.
So therefore we say it's not really science.
Yep. So that's what they say. So when we say that when we talk about Krishna, I have had people asking me, how can you say that it's an authentic script? How can you verify that it is?
By following Krishna's instructions, you can verify. If you start drinking water and think Krishna's the taste, gradually you'll get realization. Whenever you see the sun and the moon, you think Krishna is the sun and the moon, gradually you get realization. You have to follow Krishna's laboratory procedures.
That's right. I have felt so. But one person has asked me that, I used to share my thoughts with my friends when I used to work in Bangalore. But we were surrounded because I see that it's easier to disbelieve than to believe. Right? Atheism is, maybe people are atheists because it's easier to disbelieve because they don't have to put in an effort to live according to Krishna's instructions.
You may believe, you may not believe, but what is it about you that doesn't change, although the body and mind are always changing? Does your body and mind not change because you say, I am Christian, Muslim, Hindu, therefore my body and mind don't change?
No.
Okay, so this is science. What is it about you that doesn't change, although your body and mind are always changing?
Should be the soul.
So then there should be spiritual procedures for verifying that you are spirit soul. And that's the beginning reason why we ask you to chant Hare Krishna.
And unfortunately with our material senses, it's very difficult to perceive.
With material senses, what can you actually perceive? Dogs can hear sounds you can't hear. Cats can see at night things you don't see. What is the use of your tiny material senses?
Okay. So what they say is, what if you lead a pious life?
What's a pious life?
Pious life in the sense you chant Hare Krishna. And
Hare Krishna is beyond piety.
Okay. And
piety means good karma, punya.
Right. And what if you denounce the material pleasures throughout your life, you keep chanting God's name, and in the end you realize that, this was just written up by some human entity, and this was not, you were probably meant to enjoy the materialized world. You didn't do that when you got a chance and came into this world.
If you want to gamble on Krishna, you'll never lose. But even if you think that you may lose, you've lost so many times, so many lifetimes. What's one more loss?
Awesome. That's a good answer I can give there. Thank you.
But you won't lose.
Hare Krishna. I would appreciate I came in late and it was just in your power that I could understand that Hare Krishna is the touching with Krishna. And I do have that kind of touching. But how to just get the same kind of power you have? It's really amazing, I feel. I'm a father of a beautiful daughter, but I don't know. I can really gamble on Krishna. But I want to get the same kind of power like you have, So
I am simply saying what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever power you see, that is because I'm saying what Krishna says.
Now, do you have a family for that? Like, you have made Krishna your family. It's very hard to get your family out of this thing and get concentrated into Krishna.
Make your family Krishna conscious. Make Krishna the center of your family. Raise your daughter to be Krishna's servant.
How to make her understand that when you die, it's like, it's not dirt, you would get into kind of...
You have to educate her and show her by example. How old is she?
She's just like 12 months and...
That's okay, she's watching you.
I really appreciate that. I want her to watch me.
Okay, so you set a very good spiritual example for her. That is the best love you can give her.
It's difficult, but I will try to. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. All right. I thank you all for your kind attention. Very wonderful speaking to you all. Very lively group here. I've heard a lot about the Hornsby group. Now I have experienced. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to thank from the bottom of our heart to His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj Hornsby. It's such an enlightening question and session. Thanks for asking such intelligent and introspective questions. And thanks to Maharaj again for coming to Hornsby, enlightening all of us with different topics. I especially like the way Maharaj said that, the example of a body and the house, how we relate to that. and also to stay tuned to Krishna's plan rather than actually having our own factories of ideas and aspirations, desperations. So that's really wonderful, Maharaj. Thank you so much. And now we'll request Maharaj to hand over the books to who are interested to take a book from Maharaj, especially signature by Maharaj, and plus also has some gifts. So if Maharaj could actually give to all the guests here. Hare Krishna. And also like to mention that we are having this hall program is every second Saturday of the month. So feel free to come and invite your friends to get more mercy from Lord Shri Krishna. And we are having a Bhagavad Gita introduction session going on. So this was week 2 today, and we're having 3 more sessions to go. We're going to cover who am I, and we already covered why do bad things happen to good people, who is God, and all these things will be covered in a nutshell what Bhagavad Gita contains. So if you're interested, you can register with Nitisha Mataji or Deepika Mataji with that. So with that, I'd like to thank His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj ki. We request Maharaj to please keep coming to Hornsby often, at least 3 or 4 times in a year, if not more. So big Hari Bol to Maharaj. Hari Bol! Please come. So I'll request everyone who's interested to take a book, please make a queue and then we can distribute prasadam also. So as you take the gift and the prasadam, you can take the main meals, so make a queue on the other side. Thanks.